What's up, everybody? Back in the garage today, making more progress on Project Monstrosity here today. And off camera, I made this. I know some of you are looking at that thinking, what in the world? Well, if you guys have seen the renderings of this thing, there you go. I got a shape with some dimensions on it from a gentleman whose name I probably am not supposed to mention, who restores original DeKons. I got the radiuses and I got the center points of like the holes, but it didn't give me the actual dimensions, like how long this is, how long this is. But I got the basic shape from that, and so I did the best I could, but I think I'm a little thick here at the top. So in this episode, I get to play around with this wing a little bit. Plus I got to figure out how in the heck I'm going to mount this thing. This one, by the way, just so any of you out there who are already concerned, this is just a test piece out of Lewan. This is not going to be the final piece. This is a much cheaper way of figuring out what it is exactly I need to do before I go to the final piece. Now, what will the final spoiler or wing be made out of? I have no idea. But I know that some of the original DeKons, believe it or not, were actually made out of marine grade wood and then had resin put around the outside of them to seal them up. So I might be able to do that because wood I can work with. Resin I've never worked with before, but how hard could it be? Paintbrush, resin, pour it on, smooth it out. I don't know. Never done it before. Never done any of this before. Anyway, let's get started with this and try to get this thing to the right shape. The other thing that makes this difficult is that you would think you could just put this straight up against the edge of the hatchback opening here. Try to display it with my hands, but the hatchback kind of goes back at an angle on each side. So I can't have the sides of my wings going back at an angle. I've got to keep them straight and parallel with one another. So I've got to take the angled side of the car and level up the spoiler on it somehow. First, just mark where everything's going to be, where I think it's going to lie. Okay. Yeah. I'll call that good. Actually, I need to put the hatchback back on here to make sure that this mark up here doesn't go past the window. That would be good. Hang on. And mark on the outside here too, so I have something to look at. Hatchbacks are much lighter without the window. Ouch, pinch my hand. Oh, yep, see, that's already a problem. That mark is up here like an inch or two past the window, so. Okay. Cut twice, measure 3 times or something like that. That's it. That's what we wanted. Off camera, I took a little bit of the fatness off of here, and then once I did that, it was too long, so I took a little bit of the length off of here, and then I also increased the radius up here. And Nathaniel and I both agree, this is it. I love it. So I'm going to use that as a template and make a second one now. And then I'm going to take what little bit of Lewan I got left over there, take a 4-foot length of it, because that's how far apart this needs to be spaced. And then that'll allow me to kind of evenly space these where they need to be, as well as keep them parallel. Because as you can tell, they don't run parallel with the car, but they got to run parallel to each other. Okay, second piece is cut. Looks good. Now I'm going to take a 4-foot span of the leftover Lewan over there just to make a simulated foil wing that connects these two together so I can mock this whole thing up. And then that's when things get exciting. I can't take the smile off my face. Ready to see it? Bam. That's as cheaply as I can make it right now. It's kind of weird. The camera changes the dimensions of the wing. They look fatter and thicker in the camera than they really are. That's the weird thing. But anyway, my garage is a little crowded, so I can't really stand back and get a very good look. And I don't know if this is where the actual foil wing is going to be, but it's just there just for looks for now, to kind of mock it up. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it. I can't really get the full view of it because I can't put the hats back on here because I'd have to cut away these corners on each side. But I think you get a little bit of it. Yeah, I think we're there. That is what we were after. Man, it looks good. Well, that's all I'm going to be able to get done tonight. I got one more day to work on this thing, maybe one more afternoon to work on this thing before our special guests arrive tomorrow night. They're getting in really late though, so we're not going to actually work in the garage. So tomorrow I think Nathaniel's going to weld his striker permanently on the door, and I'll work on something else. One more day of work on this thing before I wrap up this episode, and then the next episode after this, special guest coming by. You'll see who it is. Hi. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay, last night before my friends get here. So the last thing I want to do in the car, because it's already 8:50 at night. It's still pretty bright outside, but they're not going to be here for like another hour and a half, and I got to get a couple things done and ready for them. So the first thing I got to do is power spray the front of the car. The thing that I didn't show you, you might have seen it when I pulled the engine, was just how much grease was stacked up on that chassis. And there was a bunch of red clay or red mud too. This guy that owned this before us must have like thought he was Bo Duke or something and took it through a bunch of mud. It was in a field for a while too before we picked it up. That's why we got it so cheap. So anyway, I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and then I think I'm gonna wrap this episode up, because in 2 hours, I start a new episode with my friends, who you'll see in the very next episode, and I can't wait to tell you who it is. We're gonna get a lot done. In the meantime, I need to get a lot done. All right, look at this. For the first-time viewers of this car, for that matter, for the long-time viewers, this is the first time in, gosh, a year that this thing has been on all fours on the ground. I forgot just how low to the ground this thing sits. I've been so used to this car kind of sitting up here in my chest, but now it's down here. Don't pay no attention to my fat gut. Anyway, I just like it. It's low and mean and sleek. Now I gotta get this thing out of the garage. And the problem with that is, even though the camera doesn't show it, this is a fairly steep grade. And I've tried to push things out of here before with marginal success. One time I actually lost a car. I'm not gonna say which. And it rolled all the way down the hill right into that fence post down there. Luckily, it was one that I didn't care about, but it almost went. In that tree line right there is a big, deep valley that goes down like 30, 40 feet. Don't want to have that happen. So I'm by myself. I'm going to put a chalk every so many feet and just do it the old-fashioned way like I used to after I air up this tire. All right, that was a little harder than it should have been. I had a piece of steel wool in front of this tire. Then I had another tool I didn't see down there. And then I had electrical line that was severed, ran in front of the car, stopped it. And then 2 out of the 4 tires are flat. Didn't want to push very well. And it took a lot of effort to even get it this far. So I really wanted to get this thing completely out of the garage just because I wanted to see it. But the angle of this pitch is just going to make it too difficult to try to get back in. All I really need to do is hose down this front anyway. So I'm already in the clear. So I guess this is as far as I'm going to go. Time to clean. Well, as you can see, I lost daylight. Trouble lights were turned on. I can kind of see what I was doing. I guess I'll see more tomorrow or when I roll this thing back in the garage. I'm really glad that I didn't roll it out any further than I had to. Plus, my friends are coming by, so maybe they can help me with that when they get here, because I want to finally clean up this nasty mess that's like 2 inches thick on the ground. Get all this cleaned out before I roll it back in, and so we'll have a nice clean work area once they arrive. I tried to push this back in here. Couldn't do it by myself. But I have 2 friends that are going to be here in like 30 minutes. They can help me. So that means that I'm going to end this episode right here, because a lot of progress is about to begin in 30 minutes. And that'll be the next episode. We got a ton of stuff. Over on the other side of my car, on the rotisserie there, there's a whole wall full of new parts. They're going to be going on this very soon, as well as a bunch of welding and structure, framework, things that needed to be done to brace this thing up for a very long time. And it all starts now. Thanks for watching. As always, we so appreciate you guys. This journey, this dream has been a little crazy. Sometimes I've questioned our sanity, but I think with the help of a few friends and a couple more months, we might just get this thing done. So stay tuned for the next episode. Be watching for lots of things to be happening and lots of updates, upgrades, and cool things to happen that you guys don't even know about yet. Thanks for watching, guys. We so appreciate you. Take care.